Hey, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I really appreciate you investing your time in me. Today, oof, have I struggled with coming up with what I'm going to say about this video. This video is supposed to be super easy. In this video, I am making a painting with Artist Loft watercolors. They're 18-piece pan set. It's something I've been using since August, so you'd think that it would be super easy for me to come up with stuff to talk about. But I got way into my head on this, and the struggle became super real. So before I get into that, I'm going to talk about what's happening on the screen. So here, instead of showing you the swatching of the Artist Loft watercolors, I thought, why don't I show a different part of the process? Showing how I make the swatch sheet itself instead of the swatches. I used to, measure them and use T-squares and all that stuff, but now I just trace them because it's easier. And I want to encourage you to try to find those options wherever you can, because why make life harder on yourself? All right, so now here's the part where I get involved in my headspace. I felt compelled to show you a quick walkthrough of my sketchbook that I did this summer to be like, yes, I can make cool art with this. So I made this absolutely adorable sleeping flying owl with a shooting star. He's Ducky Deer, and I don't know why I didn't think he was good enough. I totally think I get enough credit to be like, yes, I can talk about this set. But for some reason, I was so anxious that I'm like, I'm going to show other artwork that might be cuter and a better example of what these things can do instead of the just internal anxiety. And I think I know what happened. I think that I got an emotional break from these. Sorry about that. Okay, so I think that I got to a place where I just got too anxious and too serious about my art, and that I needed a way to approach my artwork differently and get myself into a different headspace. And I think that I was able to do it with this set of watercolors, and therefore I disproportionately like these watercolors and want you to disproportionately like these watercolors as well. But trying to take an analytic look on it, that's not fair to y'all. Just because I had a great emotional connection to this set doesn't mean that the set is good for you, or that you will get the same sort of emotional connection. I wish you could, y'all, because I had a whole bunch of fun. Okay, so I have inherently been using the same artist color since I was a kid. I'm not joking, 8 years old, I've been using Winsor & Newton, the same palette on through the years. And maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I'm like, I need to branch out into different colors. But it's this strange new environment, because it's yeah, I kind of know about colors because I really know those colors, but I don't know about these colors so much. So I have an internal space where I can give myself permission to it doesn't have to be perfect. It does. Mistakes are allowed to happen, and I think that that's a wonderful gift that you can give yourself, is to not try to make the best whatever that ever was. Permission to not be perfect. And I think that as artists, we can get stuck in that I have to make this perfect thing, I have to make it's got to be better than the last thing, and there can only be upward, and all sorts of mental hamstring. And I, not so recently now, but fairly recently in my world, listened to somebody give a talk. It might have been a TED Talk, but maybe not. And it was a person talking about a pottery class. And the teacher assigned half of his students' project to make a perfect pot, and the other half of his students to get a grade based off of quantity. So if they used 100 pounds of clay to make 100 pounds worth of pots, they got an A. 70 pounds of pot was a C, and so on and so forth, down to not making any pots. And the teacher found that the students who made the most artwork, the pots by the pound, came out with better looking products than the people who were striving for perfection. The people who were based on quantity, it no longer mattered if it was perfect. So they had the teacher accounts it with the ability to experiment and play and have fun and try new things. And that's why they showed so much growth. And I don't know if I got a whole bunch of growth, but I definitely had the chance to experiment and play and try new things. And it was really nice. It was a lot of fun. But analytically talking about these guys, they're opaque. Watercolors are known for their translucent quality, and these guys absolutely are not translucent. And so it's kind of a major quality. That's not what they're supposed to be like. It's like the anti-watercolor. Comparing them to things that I have used, I would say they're like a student grade pan wash, which is okay, except I can't get them to do a flat wash, which is one of the things that gouache excels at. And I know that I'm not the only person that struggled with it, because I've heard other artists talk about it, that it doesn't do flat washes. I hate how it does gradients. Which is, a very nice thing to be able to do with an art supply, to do shading or changing from one color to the other in an aesthetically pleasing way. A gradient is a good way to do it, and I have not been able to rock it with these. I know that a lot of the work was done on not watercolor paper, but giving it a go on the proper medium, I'm having medium paper, it's proper paper. I'm not having any better luck. And so I have a feeling that it more has to do with the caliber of the art supply and less to do with, yes, I know I'm using a tiny brush, but I know how to make good materials work with a tiny brush. And so I will chalk it up to this watercolor set has its limitations. Is it a fun set? Yes. Does it have fun colors? Yes. Is it archival? Probably not. I bet you if the sun winked at it hard, that it would just fade away. But if you want to give yourself a break from more traditional colors and try a more modern color set, absolutely go for it. Just remember all the things that you have to remember about non-archival materials. You don't want to store it where the sun can get to it, and sometimes they even die while in a sketchbook. So if you do anything that you madly fall in love with, take a picture that you can print yourself a copy of, and that way you can still enjoy the piece of art even if the media fails you. Do I know this media will fail me? No. Do I have some strong suspicions? Yes. If you want me to do a light fast test, let me know. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is this red handled brush. It's a liner, and my hopes is that I will be able to add visual texture and color in the form of line work on top of the flat of fields that I'm making. Like, I'm getting ready to go over the owl's belly, and look, it's in color, and I'm not terribly good at it, and I know I said that already, but I'm really feeling the learning curve. I am excited that I'm going to be able to add color on top of flat washes in any color I want to. Not limited to markers, not limited to what works on top of the media I'm working with, just limited to my skill and imagination, which I think is a pretty good combo. And so that's it for this week. I have my end card coming up that's going to tell you to like, subscribe, And I'm gonna say leave a comment because that lets the YouTube algorithm know you love me. All right, till next time. Bye.